Alright, we're going to make some fake blood for you. This is my helper, Parsons. Now let's look at the recipe that we have over here. Okay, and as you can see, you need 1 cup of corn syrup, 1 tablespoon of water, 2 tablespoons of food coloring, red food coloring, and 2 drops of green food coloring. Now what I want to do is I want to make this into a recipe and a half. Now if I were to double this recipe, Connor, you can help me, okay? If I were to double this, okay, what would if I were to double, what would this 1 become?
A 2.
Okay, this would also be a
2.
Okay, 2 becomes
a 4.
And 2 becomes
a 4.
Okay, so if I were to double this recipe, instead of 1 cup, I'd have 2 cups. Instead of 1 tablespoon, I'd have 2 tablespoons. Real simple. We're not here to make this simple. We're here to make this complicated. Now, in order to double this, I'm multiplying by, if I doubled it?
2.
2. I multiply by 2. But I want to multiply, I want to get 1.5 recipe. Okay, so what am I going to do to make it 1.5, Connor?
It's just like times everything like 3, sort of.
Okay, so instead of multiplying it by 2, I'm multiplying it by what?
3.
No, this case,
1.
1.5. Okay, so I'm going to take 1.5 times 1, and I'm going to take 1.5 times 2. Those are my 2 different numbers that I have. Okay, and if I do regular multiplication, I have 5 times 1 is?
1. Actually 5.
5, that's right. 1 times 1 is?
1.
1. Now I have 1 decimal place in the answer, in the problem, so I need 1 decimal place in my answer.
And
now this one, anything times 1 becomes itself, so 1.5 becomes 1.5. So anything times 1 is that number. But what about 1.5 times 2? What's 5 times 2?
You double the 2, so 5, or 10.
10. So I put the 0 down and carry the
1 to the...
Okay. And then 2 times 1?
2.
Plus 1?
3.
3. And how many decimals do I have in my question?
1.
How many should I have in my answer?
1.
So I need to have 1 in my answer. So that becomes 3.0, also known as just regular 3. Now I'm going to move these over here. Okay? So 1 becomes 1.5.
5.
So that also becomes 1.5.
And that
2 becomes
3.
3. And 2 becomes
3.
Okay, so let's write that down on our paper. Okay, so on our paper, okay, can you spread that back just a little bit? Alright, so here, stand up on the chair.
Me.
Let's see if we can get a nice tall shot. Alright, sorry about that, folks. Okay, so we have 1 becomes 1.5.
1.5.
1 becomes 1.5. 2 becomes
3.
And this 2 becomes
3.
Okay, so now our new recipe, we went from 1 to 1.5 and so on. So now we're going to do this new recipe. Okay, now if you look over here, and you look from the side, you can see we're starting off with 1.5. That's between the 1 and the 2. So we're starting off with 1.5 of corn syrup. The next it says 1.5 tablespoons of water. So I'm going to take a tablespoon. Let's put this back so you can see the whole shot. I think that's too bright. Let's pull this down a little bit. Can you still see? Alright. So now I'm going to take 1. Connor, you want to do it? Okay, so there's 1. And it's 1.5, so now we want to do about a half. Okay, a little bit less than that. There we go. Dump that in. Okay, that's just to make it a little thinner. Now 3 tablespoons of red food coloring. Okay, so we have our tablespoons. Seems like a lot. Oops, we have to take the lid off here. This is brand new food coloring here, so you got to be really careful with food coloring because it can stain your clothes and it can stain your hands. So it says 3 tablespoons, so let's see if we even have 3 tablespoons. 1, 2. Let's do 2 and see. Let's mix this up a little bit. Okay, does that look like blood, sort of?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it looks like punch.
Now we need a 3. I think I need to make it a little darker because blood is darker. That's all we have, so hopefully that'll be good enough. Okay, mix it up here. Now that's a little too light, so what we do is we add a few drops of green to darken it up. Okay, so mix that up. Let's turn the lights on so you can see what's going on. Okay, and that's how we get our nice fake blood. Now what we want to do is we want to put it onto a washcloth and see what it looks like spread out on a washcloth. Okay? Does that look like blood?
Yeah.
Alright, so that's how you make fake blood. This is the Parsons boys signing off, and here's the one doing the video camera work. Alright? Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you make fake blood at your own home.